Hello everybody, Chris here. I hope you're doing fantastic. Today I have a little video for you talking about CinePiano, which is the latest library from CineSamples. And just to give you a little bit of background, um, CineSamples wanted to record a piano library on the same scoring stage as all their other symphony products. The brass, Cinebrass, Cinestrings, Cinewinds, and Cineperk. It's all recorded on that stage, and obviously they wanted to do a piano that sounds um, really, really good and blends in with the rest of the series. So they just did that with the harps, which came before this product, and now they have the piano. So let's get into it. I'm gonna go through these patches one by one. Here you can see I've listed out the full, which is the full mix right here, which is a combination of these other mic positions. And then we have the closed room surround, so closed room and surround, and then the classical, cinematic, and rock studio grand patches, which are listed right here. So let's just go one by one, and then we'll talk about my thoughts on it. Cool. All right. So the thing you notice right away with this library is that the sound is very upfront and very full and rich. And I would say this is a staple in all of their products, really. So if you're looking for that, bombastic Hollywood sound, CineSamples is definitely one of those companies to look into. So yeah, the full mic position, I would say it's very lush and very rich, and it takes a lot of room in the frequency spectrum. So especially in the C1 to C2, even to the middle C range, those two octaves, this range right here, you can hear how much low end is actually recorded into the sample. So if I take out a bit of the low end here with the EQ, maybe some of the mids as well, that's a little too much. But it definitely sounds more balanced with this EQ adjustment. So really, really beautiful sound. Okay, so I'm really glad they provided the EQ, but even if they didn't, you can just use the one in your DAW, right? So that's the full position. Let's continue on to the close mics. So I have that loaded up right here at the close. Let's see how that sounds. So it's just my CPU overloading a little bit. But yeah, definitely a lot closer. Surprisingly intimate. You get much less of that stage sound. Um, another thing to note actually about this, especially for this first patch, is that they didn't record that many pianissimo samples. And so I was playing quite soft for some of this. Like here, I'm trying to play pianissimo. Right? So that's about an MP to MF, I'd say. So if you're looking for a really, really soft and intimate piano, this patch might not be the one for you. But, kudos to them for recording a really great piano. It's a Steinway, by the way, and then right in the middle of the scoring stage. Now here's the room mics. Really nice. And the surrounds. So both the room and the surround have that nice Sony sound in it for sure. You get that scoring stage ambience. And again, if you wanted to tweak the settings, you can use the EQ that they provide for you. Okay? Alright, so let's move on. Now we have the classical patch. And as you can see, it only comes with that one position. They did a very specific miking setup, and so that's what they wanted to provide here. And again, if you really want to change the sound of it, you can use your EQ. I think out of the box, this is my favorite patch. It's really rich, really warm. And the balance is perfect to my ears. So I would definitely use this for a background piano, you know, with still having all the definition, but yet having that really nice ambience as well. So the main difference between the CinePiano full mix and the classical versus the classical sound, it definitely sounds more upfront, the CinePiano. Cool, and then we have the cinematic patch. Now, the hallmark here is the release tails. It really rings on there. Just a really, really intimate sound as well. So they recorded really close to the piano. And if you were looking for that pad kind of piano, I would definitely consider this patch. Right? Kind of reminds me of the felt piano from Spitfire. Cool. And then finally we have the Rock Studio Grand, which is essentially the polar opposite of these other ones. It's the cinematic especially. So if you're looking for that piano to really cut through the mix, and if you're doing some kind of rock or pop production, I would definitely use this patch here. And of course, that's the only position they give you, and of course you can fiddle around with the EQ. So let's go back to the CinePiano full, the default patch, which is again the most full position they give you. And it sounds really great out of the box. So Mike Petty goes through all this stuff here on the settings page in his walkthrough. I haven't really explored this part too much yet, but one of the cool settings is the pedal behavior thing. So if I play a note here, and I just released and did a re-pedal really quickly, so the overlapping pedal, and you can see that C chord kind of held a little bit longer there. One more time. Just like that. So a real piano kind of does that as well, and then he really stresses that in his walkthrough. And then this FFF layer, turn down the volume a little bit. Yeah, it gets really big too if you really, really want to push it. Cool. And then these other settings will help you do it softer, bias forte if you really want generally all the sound to be a little bit louder. Let's see bass piano. So now you can get a little bit softer. Excuse me. Cool. Now some of you might be asking, how does this library compare to Piano in Blue? And I think I'll do another video on that in the future, but Piano in Blue has a very specific use, and it's for that smoky, laid-back jazz kind of thing, right? So if you can imagine sitting in a cocktail bar and using that piano, for sure. This one is a little more all-purpose. It's definitely extremely versatile. I would say the classical patch is the most like the Piano in Blue, in the sense that it's a very comfortable sounding patch. Granted, it does have a little more ambience in it, the way this patch was mic'd up, but in general, I think they're very different libraries, you know? So if you're looking for an all-purpose library, I would definitely go to this one first. I also have Emotional Piano and Cinematic Studio Piano, and I think that this default patch sounds similar to the Cinematic Studio Piano, except the Cinematic Studio Piano does come out a little bit drier than this one does. And finally, Emotional Piano itself is quite reverberant, and so I think it sounds quite similar. Let's see. Actually, go back to, there we go. I would say that the bias piano setting of this CinePiano patch sounds quite similar to the Emotional Piano. Because the Emotional Piano has a lot of top end rolled off of it, and that's what gives it that really soothing and nice sound, right? So in this case, the CinePiano can do all of that and even more. It comes with these other patches as well. So just to recap, CinePiano is this beautiful grand piano, Steinway, that was recorded in the middle of the stage, and I would definitely use this patch first for a piano solo, definitely, because again, it takes up a lot of room in your frequency spectrum. You won't need that much else to support it, and if anything, you'd probably be taking away some stuff that you don't like. So it is pretty heavy-handed with the low end. Compared to the top here. So for me, I think turning down the mids and the lows just a touch will help with that. And then the classical patch is great for just a little more ambient sound. If you want to emulate yourself playing on stage, then this is great for that. So it's a little more soft and a little less presence than the CinePiano default patch. Cinematic is very intimate, except the reverb tails and the release samples are very present. It's really, really nice. Let me play a little bit more. So really can ring on for any pad kind of writing. If you're doing kind of any documentaries or something that requires a little bit of tinkling piano, then I would definitely go to this one. And then for any up-tempo rock or pop productions, this would be your go-to for that as well. So if you're really banging on the keys and looking for that puncturing sound, then this is your go-to. Okay, so there we go. That is CinePiano. If you have any questions, please let me know. But these are all the mic positions: full, close, room, and surround. Room and surround do sound quite similar. Surround is just slightly less close than the rooms. So you get a little less of the cutting sound than the room does. The room gives you a little more definition. And close surprisingly gets pretty close. full is my favorite. So nice, really nice and full, rich sound. Okay, so there we go. Thank you so much for watching. This is CinePiano. Leave a comment below telling me your favorite libraries actually for piano. And if this has helped make up your mind at all about purchasing CinePiano, that's great. Then I'm really happy. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot, guys.